Welcome back to my channel. Harry's upcoming visit is not quite the grand entrance it seems. While Us magazine might paint a picture of him as a key player for the United Nations General Assembly during Climate Week, the reality is his PR stunts are predictable. According to the official UN website, Prince Harry is about as much a part of Climate Week as a vegan in a steakhouse. That's right, despite the grandiose announcements from his own team, he is not listed. He is not listed. He is not listed as a speaker, and his beloved Archwell Foundation is not featured as a sponsor or partner whatsoever. His trip's all about advancing a number of patronages and philanthropic initiatives. Harry, the self-proclaimed humanitarian, is apparently set to rub shoulders with non-profits like African Parks, the Hello Trust, the Diana Award, and Travelist. How very touching, but let's be honest, this is just another case of Harry attempting to attach himself to high-profile event in hopes of leeching some of that sweet, sweet limelight. The timeline here is absolutely crucial. Harry's grand announcement conveniently coincides with the Earthshot project we know. The press revealed that Prince William will be in New York in September for Earthshot Week. And as we know, now Harry is going to be there at the same time. I would not talk too much about this. I'm not going to be criticizing Harry for that because this Climate Week in New York City was already scheduled even before William announced the timeline for his trip to New York. So no, it's not Harry's fault that he will be there when his brother will be there. By the way, guys, if you do not know, Harry is traveling to New York City next month for this Climate Week that he'll be participating. And here are a few things that you should know. Number one, okay, let's go one by one. So Prince Harry returning to New York City in September will receive additional security after catastrophic quote-unquote car chase trip. Okay, so why would he be getting additional security? Why? I mean, it doesn't make any sense. Who is he? He doesn't work as a senior royal family member in the UK anymore. He's not linked, or he's not associated, he's not attached to them in any way, shape, or form. So how come somebody who is not working as a royal family member, doing nothing for the royal family from the States, and still being treated as a prince? I mean, this security stuff is just nonsense. And people in the States, especially in New York, paying so much money from their own tax money for this guy who doesn't do anything for the city of New York or for the country United States. He doesn't contribute in the country in any way, shape, or form other than whining about living in California and not being able to see his pals. So I don't know how this is panning out. Next, move on. So this is an interview given by Caroline Pierce, and she talks about Harry's African Parks charity that he will be meeting people from. Let's take a listen to what Caroline Pierce has to say.
When we talk about meaningful change, I mean, you spoke about the model there. There is an investigation now taking place. Do you firstly think the investigation will make a difference? And also, what is it that the victims want?
What the victims want is freedom to access their land. This is, the Baka hunter-gatherer people. They are the indigenous people of the Congo Basin rainforest. They have lived there. They and their ancestors lived there for thousands of years. They have cared for this forest. They have depended on this forest. And now there is a conservation organization managing their land. They're told it's a national park, and they're told to keep out. And they're not only told to keep out, there are armed militarized guards employed to keep them out. And as we heard from your intro, they do so very violently. My colleagues have spoken to people who've been out, gathering honey in the forest, seized by guards, stripped, tortured, simply for trying to live their lives. So
what is so bizarre and strange, I mean, everything is bizarre and strange about Meghan and Harry, is that this time Harry did not address this issue, what is happening there in the African parks, all the rape and abuse going on, he doesn't address. But nevertheless, he's going to be meeting people from that organization in New York. How does that even make any sense? I mean, after all of this devastating news that we hear about the African parks, how can Harry even show his face to these people? Well, let's move on to the next one. So, predictable and rather pathetic. Harry plans a New York trip for the same time as Prince William, who is there for the Earthshot Summit. Harry will be meeting with African parks and still has said nothing over the abuses of the Baka people by their staff at the charity. Again, he is going to be meeting these people and discuss like what? I mean, they are going to give him maybe another award for not showing up, for not doing anything for the people of Baka. I don't know. This is something I find very, very strange. Next. Okay, so Meghan, Harry, we know they do everything, and now Harry is becoming a life coach. How embarrassing. A man who shirked responsibility, destroyed his own family relationship, lost his friends, and has made poor choice after poor choice, wants to help clients fix their lives. A 40-year-old uneducated, underemployed loser. So I don't understand what kind of coaching he will do. Like life coach, he doesn't have a life. I mean, life coach, okay, so how to deal with a narcissist wife? That would fit his career. That would fit the profile. That would be something he can teach, maybe a few things here and there. So yeah, if you have a narcissistic partner, by all means, go and ask Harry. Hey, Harry, by the way, we want to know more about this. Can you tell us? I'm sure that he can definitely help you. But, going for this kind of life coaching job is something very, very pathetic. Now, obviously, what is even more pathetic is this one. Let's take a listen at this liar, what he has to say, and then I'll explain to you.
Sorry to interrupt. Do you know if the royal family have been in touch with them since this happened?
Yeah, I mean, it's impossible not to think of Princess Diana when we hear about car accidents and this kind of like aggressive paparazzi chase. And so I was really surprised to hear from sources that not one member of the royal family, including King Charles and Prince William, who are obviously heavily affected by Princess Diana's death, had not reached out to Prince Harry hours after this news had broken. It was on the sort of on every single headline around the world. And sadly, that kind of shows the state of disrepair that relationship is. It's hard not to forget that Harry was here just a couple of weeks ago for King Charles's coronation. You would have thought that may go towards building some kind of path towards reconciliation.
Okay, so this lab doc basically said that the car had a speed of 80 kilometer or 80 mile actually per hour in New York City. An aggressive car chase, paparazzi car chase. Like, what he's talking about? There was no car chase. I mean, 80 miles per hour in New York City. Is that even possible? I don't think so. I drove in New York City once. Not actually once. Multiple times. I could never get past. Oh, no. I was not in the city. I was outside New York City. I was driving there. And I know, because I drove in Toronto. So I know the streets are packed. So how can I have 80 miles per hour on my car and still be able to drive? And then I make up this whole story that, oh, my papa, you never called me, you never heard that I had a car chase in New York City, in Toronto, or in New York City in this case, where people are chasing me and I was driving at 80 miles per hour. Do you know that? Did you hear that? I think the moment you will hear that story from Harry, he will be like, yeah, I'm hanging up, boy. You lost your mind. I was not convinced, but today I'm convinced. Sorry, boy. That's the conversation he will have, even if Harry called or if the father called, King Charles, because it's unbelievable. Who does that? Next. So a nice picture of Meghan Markle when she was 15 years old. And she was posing right in front of Buckingham Palace. Yeah. She said, what? Oh, I know nothing about the monarchy. I know nothing about Prince Harry. I never met him. I never heard about him. I never heard about their family. She studied everything about them. Meghan knew about the monarchy more than anybody else right here, right now. If you're watching from wherever and however old you are, it doesn't matter. Meghan studied them top to bottom, and that's how she tricked Prince Harry, and she will trick more people. Who knows? Maybe she's studying right now Elon Musk, or maybe I don't know who she is studying right now. But you could be the guinea pig for Meghan Markle's experiment with life. It will never end. And on top of all of these guys, also just think about this. She came to UK from the States when she was 15 years old. Who paid for a trip? Who paid for a trip? Obviously, she was not married with Trevor Ingleson that time, 15 years old. Her father must have paid the trip. Does she acknowledge that? Does she say, oh, Papa, thank you so much for that? Of course not. But here you have Meghan Markle. But, Prince Harry's pathetic New York trip will not see him getting any role, not talking, having the mic, and he will be just as miserable as he's always been. I have some comments here, guys, from Patricia. Thank you, Patricia. Thank you so much. Leo the Lion, Grain, thank you, guys, and Smith. If you have any more comment, Angel, Lydia, leave a comment in the comment section. I'll see you in the next video. Have a wonderful day.